It's Nikki, busting in on your feet again with part 2 of our Mary Poppins book that we are making. Mary Poppins journal, I guess I should say. First of all, want to apologize for taking so long to get this back out to you. It has been nuts. It really has. And nuts in a good kind of way, because we had one of our very first retail orders for a local store a couple of towns over here in Georgia, who ordered quite a bit of of our product to carry in their store. So I have been busting my bootay to get that out, because as I have told y'all before, I do still work a full-time job. So this is what I love doing, the crafting. No, get me wrong, I love my job, I really do, but I really love my crafting, and we're trying to get that, off the ground, so to speak. So between working full-time and then trying to get that retail order out, I kind of did not have a time to get this finished, but I apologize for that, because I know y'all have all been sitting on pins and needles waiting for part 2 of this video, and we are hopefully going to get that done today. Hopefully being the key word, because after the last video, remember in the last video, we did the cover of our wonderful Mary Poppins book, and if you will remember, our inside was a little bit different. So after the first video, when I went to put stuff away, and I was kind of worried about my spine being a little too tight, and I should have gone with my instincts, because it was a little bit too tight, and guess what? It ripped all the way down right here. So I had to dismantle it, take it apart, redo it, so hence why the inside cover is different in this video than in the first one. I hope that makes sense. And when I did that, the glue that we used I could not just, peel this off, so I actually had to cut this apart. So I don't know if you can tell on the video, but it sticks up a little bit. It's not quite flush with the cover, which is kind of cool. It looks like it's got a little bit of a 3D effect going on, so I'm just going to roll with it. And it is a little crooked. But again, it's homemade. It's not supposed to be perfect, right? Even though our paper collection is practically perfect, our book is not. But it may just be my eye, because, I am my own worst critic on everything that I make. So, it is not perfectly straight, but it'll be okay. So, I didn't get a whole lot prepped, because I wanted to show y'all how I do this. I did cut a whole bunch of paper, and this is a rough cut. As you can tell, it is not perfect. Again, I am human. I cut all of this by hand on my paper trimmer that's over there. I would love to be able to show y'all how that works, but it's heavy and not easily movable around the room as easy as I would like. But let's see here. Let's make you seasick for a second. And you can't see it because it's hidden, but that's the paper trimmer over there. So hopefully I didn't make anybody too seasick. Let's see if I can get my camera straightened back up again. This was an epic fail, y'all. Alright, there we go. I think we're good. Ish. Okay. Note to self, Nikki, don't ever do that again. Alright, so, hey, y'all are along for the craziness. So, can I tell you how many pages are going to be in this book? No. I can tell you it's a little bit over an inch thick, and it is going to live in here like this. And again, as you can see, we got to trim some off of it. But I wanted to show you the process of how I do this. And this is what it will look like. So we're going to divide this paper up into sections. And we need to make some little tabs to go in. So what we're going to do is, let's set this off to the side for just a second, is we're going to make little dividers, and I'm thinking 4. What do y'all think? So if we put one here, and then we section this one and section this one. What do y'all think? Do 4 sections. So I will need 1, 2, 3 pages. Should we put one on the front? Let's put one on the front too. Why not? Alright, so we're going to set this off to the side. Set that. Alright, let's get back into our paper now. I cut my paper, right now it's about 5.5 by 8.5. But I want to put tabs on the side of the dividers. So we may have to shorten our paper so that the tabs don't stick out over here. Hopefully that'll make sense when I show you my thought process here. So now we need to find 4 pretty pieces of paper. We may be able to use some of our scraps here too. Let's get our paper out. Oh yeah, we're good, because these are going to live in between the sections. Excuse me. And I kind of want to, like I said, leave the tabs hanging over a little bit. I don't want the whole paper to lean over. So how y'all been? Been doing all right? Is this one tall enough? I don't think so. I don't think that one's going to be tall enough. Nope, it's not. See, I think out loud. Y'all, I talk to myself. So I think that'll be cute. We can use this one. We can use this one. And that's the cut apart page. I don't really want to use that because you're going to be able to see the back. Excuse me. So I don't want to use the cut apart page. Is that 2? Oh, that was 2. Well, look at that. Alright, so there's 3. I think we could just use 3. Or you know what? Let's see what else we have in here. Because we're going to put pockets in here as well, so we need some of this paper for pockets. Like this. I really like that one. Oh, I like that too. You know what? Let's use one of these as well. Alright, y'all. Telling you, that's how my brain works. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I have brought y'all along for the ride. Move this out of the way. There's our stickers, because we are going to decorate it and make it look pretty. Alright. Y'all, if I could get my fingers to work today, we'd be doing a lot better. Alright, so let's get our handy dandy paper trimmer out. And we are going to cut this down to about 8.5. Let me double check. And like I said, we're going to trim it down to our final, well, that's just a hair over 8.25. It's about 8 3/8. And 5.5. Okay. So we're going to go 8 3/8. 5.25. And let's see. Where's our paper? Nope, that was 5.5. But that's okay, because we got to take it in a little bit because of putting tabs on it. So that one's a little short, but it'll be alright, because obviously I'm having trouble reading a ruler today. Or you know what? We can use this one if we need to. Let's just roll with the 5.25. Sorry, y'all. Telling you. 8.5. We'll cut this one to 5.5. Just 2. y'all been doing alright? How's the weather where you're at? Mother Nature here in Georgia cannot for the life of her figure out what she wants to do. You know, we were running in the 70s and 80s, then it snowed on us, then we were back up into the 70s. Yesterday it was windy and cold. I thought I was going to freeze to death again. So Mother Nature has just been doing her thing here lately. And we don't know what that thing is. Alright, so we've got our 4. What do we want on the top? Kind of like this one. So we're going to put this one on top. And then let's divide this in half-ish. And like I said, I did not count this paper. I just measured my spine, see how thick I needed it to be. We'll put this one in the middle to kind of try to break up this pink. Do we want the butterflies or do we want this weird pattern with butterflies? So we'll divide this one in half-ish. Put that right there. Divide that one in half-ish. Alright, so do we want the tea party set? Or do we want this one? Let's do the tea party. Alright. So, I know it looks a little rough right now, y'all, but I promise it's going to come together. So, we are going to get this as even as possible on at least 2 sides so that when we go to glue it, and again, like I said, I'm gonna run this through the trimmer again, and even it up. So that it doesn't look like this. But we need to glue this down, or glue it together. So to do that, I have made my own little bookbinding equipment. And these are 2 bamboo cutting boards from the Dollar Tree. Okay. We're going to put this one down here. And like I said, we want it as even as we can get it. We're going to lay that down with just a little bit of overhang off the side. And then we're going to put this one on top. We're making a sandwich. Got these wood clamps from the Walmart. And we are going to clamp this down. Just like this. Have I totally just freaked y'all out yet? Are y'all ready to think, oh my god, what is this crazy woman doing? Alright, and we're going to get these as tight as we can. Like I said, these are just wood clamps that we picked up at Walmart. Alright, I got some PVA glue. Get this on Amazon. And we're going to put a, excuse me, pretty good generous coat. Can you do this with a paintbrush? You sure can. I just like to get my finger in there because you want a good coat on it. You want to cover the side of your paper here. Try not to get too much on the top. And we're just going to glue this together like so. Hopefully catch all of that paper in there. Oop. It ran a little fast on me. So y'all been okay? I know I asked you that before, but it kind of just, you know, sitting here talking to yourself, which I do that anyway, but I just like to jibber jabber sometimes while I'm doing these things. But yes, back to our big retail order that took me a couple of weeks to get put together. I was super excited about that. That, our stuff is now in 3 stores. But this particular store, they did a pretty good size order. Like I said, it took me about 3 weeks to get it all done. It was a mixture of coffee cups and tumblers and handmade notebooks and greeting cards and things like that. So, and y'all can attest, if anybody asks, that my stuff really is homemade. So, alright, my dears, we are going to set this off to the side. I am going to rotate my clamps just a little bit now that I got the glue on, because I kind of want it to squeeze all over, not just there on the edges, excuse me. So we're going to clamp this, and we're going to set this off to the side to dry for about 10-15 minutes-ish. So I shall return. Alright, y'all, we are back. While I had it gluing, I noticed I had missed a couple spots, so I went in and added a second coat on it. And this glue is not going to feel totally dry. It will be a little bit tacky, and that's completely normal. So let's take it out of here. And one thing that I had a boo-boo, and didn't realize I did is, y'all, I forgot to put the pockets on the pages while I had them unglued. But it's okay. We will fix it. So now, guys, we just glued all of our pages together. It's not good and dry, so I'm not going to open it up all the way. Because like I said, it will still feel a little tacky. So now, what I'm going to do is we're going to put it in here like this and get our final trimmings measurements down. Because what I want to do, like I said, is I want to put tabs on these. And I made one while I was waiting for this to dry so you could see what I was talking about. This will glue on here like this. And what I don't want is when you close it and see how the tab sticks out right there. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the paper in a little bit more so that this will go in and line up to the edge of our book. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say? I want those tabs hidden. So, we're going to make a little pencil mark, because this part of the tab, when you punch these out, I'll show you the punch in just a second, they glue down like this, and they will leave a little tabby sticking out. Tabby is a technical word, just in case y'all didn't need to know that. So let's see if we can't try to use our scientific method of measuring here. This is how my brain works, y'all. This is just how it is. Alright, so that looks pretty good right there. We're going to get a pencil, and we're going to make a pencil mark, and we're going to cut about right there. That gives us enough room for the tab to be glued to the paper. And what I did is I have what's called a whale tail punch. Picked this up at a consignment sale for a not bad price, and you just put it in there like any other paper punch, and it punches that out. And then if you can see, it has a little notch right there. You just fold this in half, and you now have a tab. Let me get a piece of paper to show you a little better. My camera angle's a little off, it looks like today. And you just glue it to the page, and now you have a tab, just like that. So, I kind of want to make these a little bit different. I don't want the same ones, so let's get some of our scraps from over here. We need 2 more, right? And 2. Good thing about double-sided paper is we can fold them differently so that we have 4 different tabs. There we go. Good bone folder here, and we'll crease them down. Just like that. If you have a Cricut, you can cut them on your Cricut, which I have cut them before, and you can actually, on the Cricut, you can make them different sizes. You can make them bigger, smaller, you know. Alright, so we'll lay our tabs right there. We're going to push this over here for just a second. Let me move these. I do want to put some pockets on the inside of our cover. So, and again, this is scientific measuring here. Let's find, we're going to use our scraps for this. So let's find something that kind of, it doesn't really have to match. I mean, it's the same paper collection, so it's all going to coordinate. Should we do the mat or the newspaper? I kind of want to keep those cut apart, so we're not going to use that one. And then, that's kind of cute. That's the back side of our tea party. That was the book page. The coordinating side. Let's see, do that. Because, you know, we put this on the inside cover, obviously. And that's the back side. So we'll use that for our pockets. Alright. So, we need... And I like to line mine up with the edge of the paper. And I'm going to go just almost to the spine where it bends. I don't want it quite in the bend. Does that make sense? Alright, so we're going to do the same thing over here. Make little pencil marks. And then we're going to cut these off, obviously. There we go. Now, what we can also do, let's see how it's going to bend. We're going to bend fine. Let's angle this just a hair. And if you want your angles to match, flip it over and cut it again. There we go. We got one there and one here. Easy peasy pockets, y'all. Y'all, my pen head broke. I need to fix that. Or I just need to get a new pen for my glue bottle. And remember, we're going, oh, really? Oh, Houston, we have a problem. We have a clog. How it can clog up, you know, since I just took the pen out of it. We'll never know. There we go. And we're just going to put a thin little bead of glue on the side and the bottom. We're going to line this up right here and right there. Glue and smush. And we'll do the same on the back. And again, we're just going to put a thin bead on the bottom and the side. paper edge. Got a little glue right there. And y'all, if y'all don't keep baby wipes in your craft room, you're missing out, because they work great for wiping up glue, wiping up your fingers. A little glue smush right there. Alright, and so now, y'all, we have pockets. Alright, so, this away. Alright, my dears, so we are going to, I'm going to take this over to the trimmer, and, you know what I didn't do? Is I didn't line this up at the top and the bottom. So we have our side there. And it looks like I need to take just a hair off. Maybe right there and right here. Let's get out the ruler. I mean, what was I thinking? Because I want it to line up with the paper. So, and we are literally just a hair over 8 1/4. So that's what we're going to roll with. A hair over an 8 1/4. Alright guys, let me go trim this and I'll be right back. So y'all, I don't know what happened to the last part of the video. It did not record for some reason, and I thought I was recording the whole time. So, y'all missed the big finale, and I am so sorry. So, after I left you to go trim the text block, which looks really nice and pretty now, all trimmed up, I put tabs on each of the divider pages in here, and I am so upset that I lost all this recording, y'all. It made me so mad. Anyway, it happens, you know, I know it does. Feces occurs, as I call it, but I made a cute little tag to go in the pocket, in here in the front. I put a pocket here on the front that you can put stuff in there. Did a bookmark, and this was just a scrap piece of paper that I cut down to 2 by 6, and I rounded my corners. And this is not good and glued in yet, or it has to sit up. It's dry, but it's not technically dry. So, but here is our Mary Poppins journal, all finished. And what I did after I trimmed it, and I'm sure y'all can figure it out, is I put another coat of glue along the spine. I pushed it down in there, settled it in, clamped it together, let it dry some more, and this is our finished book. And y'all, I am so mad that that did not record. You just don't know, because I really wanted to show you how this was done. So, the good part is, you see the finished product. You get the gist of it. But the best part, I guess, is you'll get to see me do it again, because we will do another one. Because I went to the thrift store the other day, found some more old Disney VHSs that were like 10 cents a piece, y'all. It was phenomenal. It was a pretty good deal. I got Cinderella, and I got, my husband is excited about the Black Cauldron, because that was one of his favorite movies as a kid, so I did grab that one. And a few other ones, but anyway. So this is our Mary Poppins book, and I know that there is a glare on it, and again, I found this in the video that didn't record. I can cover up my light a little bit there, take some of that glare off, so that y'all can see it really, a lot better. So, there it is. There's Mary Poppins in all her finished glory, and I apologize that y'all are getting it to see it this way. So, but this just means that I owe it to you again. So, leave a comment, share with your friends, come join in the craziness. Because one thing I did talk about is, what do y'all think about doing live? I don't know how everybody feels about live events on YouTube, because would you want to just, you know, see me make something and we chat and you ask questions, or would you kind of want, you know, a product a supply list, so to speak, and we craft together. Give me some ideas. I definitely need some more people interested in that, subscribers. But yeah, that's something that we could look at in the future. So again, trying to grow the channel just like every other YouTuber, and I could really use your help. So thanks again, y'all, and hopefully next time I will learn how to use the camera and, I'll actually record the footage. Until next time, y'all have a great day, and I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.